What is up, podcast fam? Coming at you again with another solo episode as promised. Super excited to bring this one to you guys. Just a reminder, guys, we are working our way up to 200 episodes with trying to do 200 episodes this year. So, like, subscribe, support the podcast on YouTube, as well as please leave us a review and follow us on Spotify or Apple Music or your favorite podcast listening app. That'd be greatly appreciated. As I told you guys, I am planning on bringing you guys some solo episodes. We're going to bring back some producer den ones. Super excited for a lot of the stuff I have planned. I'm really enjoying the podcast. I'm really excited to be really putting in a lot of effort into it as well. So come along with me on the journey. But today is a solo episode, and I'm super pumped about it. This is something that's been honestly helping me with life, and I just really want to describe it and talk to you guys about it and just tell other people that, like, you should go for it and do it. Um, it's nothing crazy, but, you know, I've mentioned previously that I had some crazy situations go on in life, some big life changes, obviously one of them being that I moved, and I already talked about that, but I had some just mental things personally that were not going my way, and just, like, life was just kinda hitting shit was kinda hitting the fan, as they say, and it was just there was a lot of times where I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. It really threw me for a loop, and you have these moments in life where you get really lost and you don't know what to do, and I think those come and go, and I think those are a part of the human experience, but as we all know, we hate those times, and one of the best things that helped me was journaling, and I wanna just touch on it. I started journaling back in about 2020, and it was very sporadically. I started and honestly, I found out about journaling when me and my ex had broken up in 2020, and I would journal during that breakup, and it was very sporadically. And most of the time, it was on days where I wasn't doing good or not having a good time, or things were just I was having a bad day with the breakup and handling it emotionally, and I didn't know what to do. And that's kind of what it was for me at the end of 2024. I was doing a lot of journaling here and there. I knew it was a good thing, and I would do it here and there sporadically, sometimes 3 days on, then weeks off, 3 days on, weeks off, and it was a lot of times when I was having bad or rough days. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a great way. I think that's how you start, and I just decided when it came to 2025 that, like, I was gonna start changing my life, and I didn't know where I was going. Again, I'd be brutally honest, I was mentally thrown for a loop. A lot of things in my life that were constant were gone and had changed. I had moved. I had lost my job and didn't know what job I was going to do. I was on the job hunt for 5 or 6 months. It was a crazy job market is ass. It's a whole nother podcast though. But then, like, I, I, I just didn't know what I wanted. And I also, I've done a lot of things throughout my life. I've done a lot of different careers. I was in sales, I was in construction, I was in as a server, I did marketing. I've done all these different things, and I like to bits and pieces of them, but I don't know exactly what I want to do with them. Always wanted to have my own business. Always was doing stuff with content, with podcasting. There were 1,000 different things. And I finally just decided, you know what? I'm going to journal for a month straight. And I did a lot of different things during this month. Actually, I called it a month of realignment and getting back to myself. And I decided during this month, you know what? I'll tell you exactly all the things I did this month. But one of the main things I did was journal every day. So I grabbed a journal. I wrote my intentions on the first page of what this journal was supposed to be. And this journal was supposed to be something I talk to every day and write down what I'm feeling and whatever. And at the end goal is to get realigned mentally with myself so that I can start going after things I love and pursue, as well as get physically aligned. So one of these things I did to improve myself and just kinda get back on track, I journaled every day. I also did a gratitude journal every day, but we'll do a separate podcast on that. 2, I worked out every day. I worked out 5 days a week, and then 2 activities on the other days just to stay active, as well as I really took my nutrition serious. If you are in a rut, if you can do those 4 things, I promise you those 4 things are gonna help you if you're in a rut. Work out, take your nutrition serious, journal, and gratitude journal. The gratitude journal shift my perspective on what I had when I didn't have, because I was focusing on what I didn't have. And the reality is I had a lot of things going for me. working out every day just got me physically, mind, body back in shape, took me out of, what was going on in my head for a little bit, and just working out hard felt good, having a good sweat, coming out of it alive mentally. Nutrition took very seriously, doing X amount of protein shakes a day, taking X amount of vitamins and supplements and all those things. And all of those don't kick in till about the 2 week mark, just so you keep in mind. But if you keep up with them for about 2 weeks, I think you'll start to notice something crazy happen on day 17 and 20 where you're like, oh my God, I'm like feeling great all of a sudden because my nutrition's like way up better. So I'm going to touch on those at all different podcasts, but those are kind of the things that happen. Um, so journaling, I decided to take that very seriously. And it was weird at first to do that every day, and also like to talk to yourself, and also like guys don't talk about journaling and they don't do that. And it's not a manly thing to do. And all that stuff that comes around with it. But guys, I'm not going to lie, doing that saved my fucking life. I mean, it just turned things around for me. Instead of the old me where I would kind of deal with things and put them off and not talk about them, I was facing them every day. And, not to say I don't have a lot of work. I'm not going to say you're going to fix yourself in 1 month of journaling, but I'm going to tell you what, you're going to give yourself groundwork to really change your life and help yourself for the better if you want to make that move for whatever that is. So I journaled every day, guys. And a lot of times, I didn't get to the goals and aspirations part of it in that first month, to be honest with you. A lot of times it was just me expressing my emotions on that day. And hey, today was a good day. I had a good day because of XYZ, and it was actually good. And yeah, I still had some bad thoughts about XYZ in that situation, but like, hey, I'm moving forward. I'm going back. I'm not going back. I'm moving forward. But it was the daily journaling. And again, like there'd be days where I woke up and I journaled right away. And there'd be days where I put it off until the last second. And guess what? If it was 11:30 at night, I fucking pulled out my journal and journaled for 20 minutes or however long it was. And I tried to do a full page. And you can get a journal book like no big. Actually, I might have mine with me, and I could show you how big mine is. Mine's no bigger than this. So if you can do a page, you can do a page of this at night. But it just allowed me to put my thoughts out there. And eventually I got to a point where I started having realizations about the circumstance I was in, which is kind of what the end goal was. It was like, I want to get realigned with me. I'm feeling so lost and just out of touch, and I don't know what I want to do with my life. And not that you have to have it all figured out, and not that you're going to have it all figured out in a month, but like it just starts letting you piece things together slowly but surely. And the journaling really just was a expression outlet. At the time I wasn't able to go to therapy and stuff, which I do recommend that if you can. I don't think you should go forever, but I think you should go for a little bit to get yourself out of a rut if you need to. And, for me, I had friends I could talk to, but this was like personal. Like I could get deep. I could be real with myself. And again, like it's gonna be hard at first. Like you sit down, you're not gonna know what to write, and that's okay. And I literally at first, you should start by saying like, okay, I'm writing. I have no idea what I'm gonna write, and like just go from there. Whatever comes to your mind, start writing, and just follow that train of thought, and eventually you'll just like work it out. Like I remember one of the days was like 15 days into journaling, and situation came up where I saw social media posts, and I was like, ooh, that didn't help me with where I'm at mentally. And I just decided I'm gonna journal about this right now. I'm not gonna while it's fresh on my mind. And I sat down and I journaled for like 30 minutes because obviously I was like a little bit like riled up about it. And again, there's no right or wrong extent of time to journal, but I immediately pulled out my journal. I journaled about it for like 30 minutes. And then I went, and then as I got to the end, I was like, oh, I'm upset because of this XYZ. Okay, now I know it's from this and this. And also I know that like to avoid XYZ, I can do XYZ. And like I just worked out that kink and that thing that I normally would have stuffed down to where I just worked it out. And by the end of that journal session, I was like, oh, I know why, and I know why I'm feeling this way, and I get it, and I'm good. I'm gonna keep moving forward. And I was good the rest of the weekend. That problem was gone because I just addressed it right away instead of stuffing it down. That's the main thing with journaling that's going to help. And it's going to take time. Once again, it's like, but if you can like journal about a problem right away, it becomes such less of a problem right away. So, you know, again, it's going to take time. And then again, the other thing is like, you're going to have some realizations. And I think those are important too. Like there's been days where like I might have had some pop into my head and like I might have been at work and I was like, I'm gonna write that down right now. And I would just write it down right into the journal. That's a great idea. It's make it not just for ideas, but like things that are going to help you progress. Like, oh, I'm stuck on this one thing. And then you're like, oh, I'm stuck maybe because of X, Y, Z. Just write that down. Boom, boom. I'll address it later when I get home. But like I can think about it now. And at the end of this month, on the 31st, I did actually the month of February. So at the 29th, or I did on March 1st, actually, I decided to do like a recap. And I did that recap. And gosh, that recap, I was able to go in and write down all the things I had realized, put them not only pen to paper, but like rewrite them again, have those 8 realizations that were helping me. And um, the first month went so well that I decided to do 2 months of journaling. And it wasn't what I planned, but like I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep going during this, like keep doing this. I'm loving it. Like I'm loving discovering who I am and how I'm feeling and what I want. So like let's keep it going. And I did that journaling even when I traveled the second month, because the second month I decided to do some traveling, have a bit more fun in life. And I was able to still do that every day. And it was a game changer, guys. Like I just I think it's important for you to have an outlet that is not necessarily just a friend or a family member. Sometimes family members can be biased because they want what's best for you, and rightfully so. And other times friends can be too. You know, those friendships that you have where they do call you out on your bullshit or call you out on things are so key and important. So if you have those, bless their heart, tell them you love them and you appreciate them for everything they do, because they are the best friends you have. But on that same note, this was unfiltered, unregulated, you know, thoughts going straight into my journal about how I was feeling, what I was doing, why I was sad, why I was this, why I was that. Oh, I had a good day at this workout. Here's why. And it becomes a map for you to not only see how you can address when things go bad, but also if you're journaling every day, you're going to have days that are good. And you can start talking about why those days are good. And then you can start seeing and piecing things together about why those days are good. And what that's going to help you do is you can enjoy the good days, but not only that, it's like you can start to manufacture good days yourself. And you're going to have more good days than bad days eventually, because you're realizing like if I do X, Y, and Z and I journal about X, Y, and Z, and then I say I have a good day because of X, Y, and Z, well, turns out if I just do X, Y, and Z, odds are I'm going to have a good day. Doesn't mean there aren't things out there that prevent them or you have a bad day, but where it's at least going to improve those days. I think something we so often do is keep track of the bad days and what got us into the bad things. And we don't keep track of the good days and what keeps those days good. We have ups and downs throughout life, peaks and valleys, as they say, and a lot of times we take accountability and think about what got us to these valleys, but we don't talk about what got us to the peaks. And there's lessons are learned in both. So often we reflect on the valleys. And I think when you journal every day, you really get a glimpse at what makes those peaks so good and what are you doing during those times that makes the peaks good. And in turn, it can make those valleys a lot less deeper than normal. So it's not going to prevent them. I think that's just life, unfortunately, or fortunately, you could say, because you're living. But it is something to keep track of and keep note of, because I think again, so often the good times we just enjoy them and they're fleeting, and then we get into these bad times and the world is dying around us and we're freaking out. But there's good times and you can keep track of those good times and you can learn from them and you can minimize how bad the bad days are too. Um, that's really all I got for you guys in this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing some of these little lessons on things that I learned in the past couple months. Cause again, I've had just crazy life changes, and I think it's important to talk about these because I just feel like not everyone's talking about them. And, I've said this before, but the goal of the podcast is to help people and also just showcase people that are passionate, but ideally like by talking to people that are passionate about what they do, they in turn show others how to do it and bring value to them. But I also want to bring value in other ways, which is like if I can help one person by telling you to journal about stuff and get on it and take it serious, that's the best thing in the world. Uh, at the end of the day, I want to be able to help people grow into their best selves. And I think this podcast is one of the great ways to do it. Um, LYFE, guys, live yourself for every day and also live it to the best as you can. But that's all I got for you this episode, guys. Journal. If you're going through some stuff, be serious about yourself, be serious about your mental health, be serious about what you want, and take it serious. Journal every day. Set a goal. I'm going to journal every day for 30 days. Start small. Maybe it's 2 days and then move it up. But I highly recommend that you guys journal. It was a life changer. Title is definitely going to be Journaling Changed My Life. And here's why. So I hope you guys stick to it for at least 30 days, maybe continue on for 2 months. And then from there, you can just journal every other day if you need to. But make yourself do it for 30 days. It's going to be a game changer, guys. All right, everybody. Peace. Like and subscribe.